the brilliant idea of doing Always Patsy Cline?
Phil
Murphy. Oh my God.
Oh, he has been on the board's case to do this show for quite some time.
No kidding.
Yep.
And we're just glad he waited a few years.
Yeah, really. The perfect timing.
So what was the obstacle in not doing the show 3 or 4 years ago?
I don't sit on the board, so I don't know, but I think it's because we do Broadway here. We don't know. There's a preconception of country. Sorry. A preconception of country. When actually what drove Patsy into the top was her more bluesy things, Walking After Midnight, Crazy.
So was this a show that you personally wanted to do for a long time?
No.
No. So when you were chosen to do the directorial duties on this production, what were some of your thoughts? What type of preparation did you do?
Well, first of all, I listened to. I got CDs from Phil. He has CDs for every musical under the sun, and there were a number of them. This was the only one. This is Legally Blonde. Can you believe that? The music for that is.
I saw Legally Blonde on Broadway.
And so I listened to this music and this Louise character, and as I drive, I carry a voice-activated recorder, and I think it's still on there. Me arguing whether I can. This was my decision on whether to direct it or not, and there's a whole segment on there about why I shouldn't direct it, but I should be Louise.
Louise. See, when I heard you were directing it, I thought, I think she could do Louise. I'm really surprised about this.
But I have to tell you that I can't take the risks. I have never had to take the risks on stage that you do. I mean, you put yourself right out there. I mean, you are
literally.
I'm not sure about this.
You are out there.
There is no Sally Goggin on this stage.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, Joanie, I have a question for you. When did you first hear about the auditions, and what went through your head when you heard that Always Patsy Cline was going to be playing here?
I had a friend of mine come in to my store when I was working one day and asked if I heard about the contest on WTCM, and I said, no, what is it? And he said, they're looking for a Patsy Cline. He said, you need to make a CD, record one of her songs, and send it in. And so I said, yeah, okay, I'll think about it. And he left, and I didn't really think about it for a couple of days, and then he called me, asked me if I sent it in yet, and I was like, no, I haven't sent it in yet. So I recorded it, and I thought, I don't know that much about her, and I don't know that much about her music, but I'd been out of theater for over 30 years, and I thought this would be a great way for me to get involved in the Old Town Playhouse and see what it's all about, get my foot in the door. And so if I didn't get the part, it was okay. So it was kind of like I'll just try it, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
So at the last audition that you came to here, what was your feelings? Did you think you had a fairly good chance of getting picked?
I thought vocally I had a really good chance of being picked. I didn't know if they were going to have us read lines. I wasn't sure about that, if they were going to have us do any kind of acting or anything, which they didn't. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to be too old because she died when she was 30. And I thought, I'm too old for the part.
She always looked older to me.
That's what everybody says. She looked older than she was, and so, and they, makeup and theater and lighting, and they'll work.
But you're not very old.
Well, thank you.
So I have a question. You do 29 songs in this play, right?
27.
27 songs. Which one was the song that was just the most difficult for you to grasp?
Probably Lovesick Blues.
Why?
Because of the tempo, the lyrics. Their lyrics then they talked a different way. You know how over time different words come into the English language and you kind of have slang things going on. And just some of the songs, the words were just really difficult for me to that doesn't make sense to me, and I was having a hard time memorizing. But
and it's fast.
Yeah, and it's the tempo of it's fast, and just trying to get everything in so people can understand what I'm singing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to get up there and have it all mumbled.
But it's one of my favorites.
It's turned out to be one of my favorites. Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun song.
Sally, how did you hear about the auditions for Always Patsy Cline?
Well, I checked what shows that they're doing each season, and I had heard of the show Always Patsy Cline, but didn't know anything about it at all. And then I got some emails from people saying, you know, there's a role in the show, Sandy, you might want to think about auditioning for. And so my husband happened to be in town, and he picked up a script for me, and I read the script, and I went, oh, wow, this is a great role. And there aren't, when you reach a certain age, there aren't a whole lot of really great roles out there. And I've said this before, that I love the rehearsal process, and I love the creation of a character, and I love the way, I'd worked with Jeanette on Into the Woods, and I saw that she was directing, and I liked the way that she creates a show and lets the actors help create the character. She doesn't come in with this preconceived notion of this is the way it has to be. And so it was a combination of things. But I'll tell you, I did go to the final auditions, the Star Search kind of auditions that Joanie sang at, and because I wanted to see who the Patsy Cline was going to be, because it did make a difference. It's a relationship issue, and I just had to see that if the person that auditioned and got the role of Patsy is someone that I felt good about too, and felt like I could work with. And so I waited until that to make a decision to audition. And after, she was cast.
That's so important.
Right! This is
That's so
going to be
important,
fun.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
What was
That
your-
chemistry, I think.
Once you got cast, what was your main concern with playing?
Memorizing the
Louise?
lines, oh my gosh!
She wrote me the day or so after an email and said, are you sure you haven't made a mistake?
I'm just not sure. I'm too old to memorize this stuff.
One of the things I found fascinating about this production was how wonderfully you put this thing together, Jeanette, in helping the balance between Patsy and Louise is so wonderfully balanced. And if it was tilted in any one direction more than the other, it would have been lopsided, and it would not have been as fantastic.
Thank you.
So what was going through your mind going through the rehearsal process that led to that success?
Panic. And I believe that groups that are successful, whether it's a church or a school or a play, you need the experience and you need the excitement of new blood. And Patsy came in full blast. She was like a Great Dane, so happy. And Louise, it's Sally. You've got your wig on, so
I'm here.
And Sally has miles of experience and a theater degree, and so together, I think we just kind of evolved. And some of the rehearsals were real hard at first.
She was very patient.
She was very patient with both of us.
Both of them.
Well,
were
we
very
had
patient.
no music for a while, so she would sing a cappella as
On key.
on key every
Blew us all
song.
away. I mean, people just, obviously they think she's wonderful, but the talent that she has is absolutely extraordinary.